Hello world, my name is Sanika and today I'm going to introduce you to if statements and review what booleans are in case you forgot. So booleans are basically a type of primitive data that can be either true or false, and we use it a lot in conditional scenarios. So if you don't remember what a primitive data type was, I would suggest go rewatch our video on that. So let's first look at this example over here. So private static boolean go to battle. So what does this do? If King Busky demands it is passed through the parameters here, which will either be a true or false value. It'll come over here, right? So if King Busky demands it was true, what the if statement basically does is it looks at whatever code is down here and it will execute it, but only if this is true. If King Busky demands it was equal to false, then the if statement would skip everything that was in these brackets and just go to the next line. And that's how if statements work. So let's try running this and see what happens. You can ignore part 2 for now. So looking at the console, if King Busky demands it, and in the main here, you can see that I passed true through the parameters here. So then if it would come over here and it would execute whatever's in these brackets here. If it's true in the brackets, I don't necessarily have to make it return a true value. I can get it to do other things. Just uncommented the line hello. So if I print that out now, it's going to say hello and then true. See right here. So that shows that it just does whatever is in these brackets. But on the second case, I passed in false. So over here, in the method, it went to if, and because this value was false, it skipped everything. So, and then came and returned false. So it didn't even print out hello or true, but it just went straight to false. Okay, so here's the cool thing about if statements. So they only need brackets sometimes, and let me explain on that. Or explain that. So private static boolean go to battle 2 is just like the first method. It does the exact same thing. Well, it doesn't print out hello, but it does the same exact thing, except what's the difference? It doesn't have these brackets here. So this is how if statements work. So if you don't have brackets and this condition was still true, it's going to execute the first line of code that's directly underneath it. So if King Busky demands it was true, it's going to come here, it's going to execute this first line of code, return true, and then it's going to, because it's a return statement, it's going to exit out of this. So when I run part 2, down here, it should print true, and then it should print false down here. So let's see how this works. And sure enough, it does. And I'm going to just switch the false and the true values so you can see that it doesn't necessarily, even if this value was true, it can do whatever you want it to do down here. So it can still print out false. See, it's switched. Even though I passed true through here, King Busky demands it, will execute, and it'll go down here, print out false instead, but it won't skip to the true statement. So let's look at a different example. So this is my if tester 2 class. So I created another method here. Is it equal to 4? And then I'm passing 2 integer values, x and y, through the parameters. So what our if statement does is it checks if x and y are equal to 4, and then like I was doing in the last one, because this one doesn't have brackets, it's going to come down here, execute the first line of code, and then exit through the, because it's a return statement, we're going to exit out of this method. So we're basically checking if the x and the y value I passed down here are equal to 4. So in this main, I'm passing 2 and 2 down here as x and y. It's going to add those and see if they're equal to 4. And let's run this and see what happens. So sure enough, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, but 3 plus 5 is not equal to 4. So it's going to return false. But what's this thing over here? Why does this have to be a double equal sign instead of a single equal sign? Here's the difference. When we're checking if something is equal to each other, we always use a double equal sign. But if we're assigning a value to equal something else, we'll use a single equal sign. So I'm going to just write down here, double is for checking something. Single is for assignment. So another thing that we can do with these if statements is we can put whatever we want in these parameters. It doesn't have to be one true or false condition. But it can be multiple, and we use logical operators to do that, which we'll elaborate on in the next video. So another thing you can also do is do a greater than or equals to down here as well. And you can check almost any condition you want. And you can check if something and something is true or something is true. And we'll obviously elaborate on that in the next video. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And thanks for watching.